Hi again, everyone. It's Adrian Cobalt back with more Metroid II, The Return of Samus. You may notice that my health and missile count might be different from last time. That's because when I froze my game state and I tried to reopen it, it actually got corrupted somehow. I have no idea how. That's never happened to me before using this emulator, but so yeah, I had to replay a little bit of it, and to get just, but we're back to where we were, so now we're going on. Last time, we'd just beaten 4 Metroids that basically controlled the planet's current lava line. So now we're heading off to go deeper into the planet. So yeah, I guess I should talk a little bit more about this game. It was made in 1991, I said that already. Made for the Game Boy, said that already too. This, I think, tends to be the Metroid game that most people forget. It wasn't, I think, quite as much of a hard hitter at the time that Metroid and, Super Metroid were when they were released, but it's actually pretty important to the series mythology. So much as it exists, there's not too much of a narrative to these first 3 Metroid games, but some events actually occur in this game which are pretty important to a few of the future Metroid games. I like this game. I used to not like it. I used to actually hate it a lot. It used to be my least favorite Metroid game. That proud distinction now goes to Metroid Other M, but I found this game really challenging when I was a kid. By that point, I had never played the original Metroid, I don't think, but it was really challenging, whereas Super Metroid I found was quite a bit easier. Metroid Fusion was actually my very first Metroid game. I don't know if I said that at all in the last video, but that was my first, and that was the one that really broke me into the series. Super Metroid, I think I played, or no, I played Metroid Prime after Metroid Fusion, but, oh no. And then Super Metroid. Metroid II, when I did eventually get it, was just really challenging. It still had some of that 8-bit challenge, being in the early 90s. There's no map. It has save stations, but they're not too common. The enemies do pretty good amounts of damage if you touch them too, so it was just kind of punishing, I think, at the time for me. Now I can do it kind of no problem, but still, it's probably one of the more challenging Metroid games. Certainly, probably not as hard as the original Metroid, provided, you play it without cheating. But, yeah. Oh, these things, that thing I just killed, kind of reminds me of, there's another one, reminds me of one of the viruses in Dr. Mario, for those of you who've played or are familiar with that game. There's a virus that's kind of spiky and has eyes like that. Save. It's probably obvious, but if you die in this game, you restart from the last place that you saved. Okay, I think I know whereabouts I am. Oh no, not that thing. Come on, man. Yeah. Oh, usually he leaves a ton of health for you, but not this time, even though I need it. another save station, fortunately. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there's a place for me to go. I reviewed my last video kind of right after I recorded it, and I noticed I kind of had the game volume up pretty high, so you may not have quite understood everything I was saying. I turned it down, turned the game volume down, that is, for this video. Hopefully ends up being better for everyone. There we go. Oh, it was only 20. I thought it was more than that. Oh well. Here. So there's 7 Metroids that I need to destroy now before I can proceed again. Oh no. Boy, I hope I don't die. That would be really a bummer. But these things do happen, unfortunately. Here's something. Ooh, that is a Metroid. It's kind of a mean trick. Thought I was going to get a nice item. I think there's a tunnel here. Yeah, that's right. And then something down here. Okay, here we go. I can't quite remember what the next power-up is going to be. It might be the Spazer, which is the next beam weapon. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, oh no, that's the wave beam, which is not the Spazer. The wave beam, like before, is a beam that waves. Now, is there something here? That appears not to be. Wave beam, for those of you who forgot or don't know, is capable of passing through walls. Don't ask me how. Although actually I think it's because I think they say it fires at like a high frequency or something. So because of that, I don't know. You know, I love science fiction, but I feel like you can make a lot of stuff up. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Let's see. No? Jeez. Aha! Here we go. Ooh, the high jump boots. Those will let us jump high. I better check down here just to make sure there's nothing. There actually might be. Is it an energy tank? Oh, I hope it is. It is. Oh man. That's a lifesaver. And I don't even have to do the bomb trick because I have the high jump boots. Good thing I checked. Okay, moving on. Oh. So I've been pretty lazy this summer. I I've been playing a ton of video games. Too much, probably, but whatever. I I've been playing the game Xenoblade Chronicles a lot, actually, on the Wii. That game is really good. They're going to be making a sequel on the Wii U pretty soon. They showed a trailer. There are a few trailers for it now, but they showed a new trailer at this last E3. I think it looks great, but oh boy, no, that's not good. But it's really fantastic. It's a huge open world game, and I think the characters in the story are really good so far. I haven't beaten it. I spend a lot of time in that game kind of wandering around because the world is really immersive and interesting. Oh, wait a minute. No, got my hopes up. Oh, anyways, Xenoblade Chronicles is definitely a game I'd recommend getting if you get the chance. It's unfortunately there was only a limited run when they released it, so it usually is pretty expensive, unfortunately, but it's definitely worth. I know at GameStop you can usually find it for $60 or so used. It didn't used to be like that. I don't know what suddenly happened, but it's definitely worth $60 used even. Surely one of the last great games of the generation. Those of you who played Final Fantasy XIII, the original, I know it's a bit late to be joking about that game, but Xenoblade Chronicles, I think, was the game that Final Fantasy XIII should have been, and that I think a lot of people wanted that game to be. So, definitely give it a try if you get the chance. I'm really hoping, and I think it wouldn't be too far-fetched for them to do this, but I hope they do an HD redo, or re-release, remastering, whatever the word is, of Xenoblade Chronicles. I would buy it, for sure. But, keep an eye out for that. I don't mean to get your hopes up that it may someday exist, but you never know. I think it gained enough. It was part of that Operation Rainfall, I think. Where us Americans didn't get a bunch of the cool JRPGs, so, oh boy. So, so we petitioned basically to have them localized and stuff released out here, but oh, it's not showing it. That's the spring ball we just got. That lets us jump when we're in the morph ball. We don't have to use bombs to do it anymore, which is good. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So Xenoblade Chronicles. It was pretty heavily requested, I guess, by this group. And when it did finally came out, I guess no one bought it. So it was only in stores, probably. I don't even know if it was in regular stores, but it came out and it was like $40, and pretty shortly after that, the price just skyrocketed. So if it comes out in HD and you own a Wii U, I guess it would have to be sure to get that game. It's, if anything, it's the one RPG you probably should play. If you're only going to play one, that is. I'm sure there are others. I just haven't played them. But no, I enjoy it a lot. I was a bit disappointed that the Xenoblade Chronicles sequel, they've said pretty much that it's not going to be a direct sequel. Like, it's not going to continue the story that's in Xenoblade Chronicles right now. So that's a bit disappointing, but, you know, I think they'll do well, whatever they do. So, it's over 15 minutes now. I think I'm probably going to go for 20. 20 just seems like you'll at least get to see me make some more progress. I should save. I think I might have just done it because there's 2 right in a row, but saving's always a good idea. Now they're down here. Down here is where I need to go. Funnily enough, the water does not slow Samus down, whereas in other games it would pretty much make her immobile. Of course, in this game, they had not come up with the gravity suit yet, which is something that appears in most of the other games. That's the purple armor she wears. It's gravity. Well, they say gravity suit, but mostly it is for water movement. I don't know if you'd consider the weight of water to be gravity. Probably not, right? I don't know. Okay. Alright, I'm about to get the Varia suit upgrade, I believe. Yeah. So, once I get... yeah, there it is. Once I get it, that'll probably be a good place to stop. I still have 5 Metroids in this area, but we can take care of them in the next video. Can probably do it fast enough. Oops. Varia, which, as I explained in the previous playlist, is basically just barrier. Okay, so that's part 2 for you. Hope to see you all again soon, and we will continue our adventures. Thanks.